Now, most investors surveyed by Bloomberg want to see Ben Bernanke's term renewed. But Desmond Lachman, who's a senior fellow at the American Enterprise Institute, says Bernanke's performance has been checkered at best and that reappointing him would mean rewarding failure. So he joins us now from our Washington bureau to make the case against the Fed chairman. Mr. Lachman, you don't believe Ben Bernanke deserves a second term. What, in your mind, was his biggest sin?
Well, I think that there have been a whole litany of these sins. I think that if we look at his performance prior to the Lehman debacle, we just see that he's made one mistake after the other. He was around at the beginning of 2006 when there was a lot of subprime lending still going on, something like $600 billion under his watch. He was very slow to recognize the dangers of a bubble. When the bubble burst, he was very slow to reduce interest rates. He kept telling us that subprime wasn't a problem, that there weren't going to be losses in the system that would really have systemic effects. And then finally, he was very much associated with all of the very poor decisions surrounding, from the time of Bear Stearns to TARP to the Lehman debacle itself. So I think that one really should be judging him over the whole term rather than on his performance, since September 15th last year. I grant that that performance has been very good, but we really want to have a central bank governor who is really on the ball, who really is very early in detecting problems and who acts in a forceful way when those problems surface. And I don't think Bernanke comes out like that.
Desmond, this is Peter Cook. You saw perhaps or heard that our survey of investors around the world suggests they would like to see Ben Bernanke come back. Why shouldn't he be judged more appropriately on this crisis period in which he has intervened again? Some say perhaps he's gone too far. Others would argue he's saved the U.S. economy, perhaps the global economy, from an even worse recession. Why is that not the more appropriate framing, if you will, for judging his term?
Well, I think that one should give him credit for pulling the economy back from the brink. But my point is why did the economy get to this state? His fingerprints are all over allowing a bubble to develop and then being far too slow in reacting, once that bubble burst. So, I grant that he's been really very good the last 9 months, but I think that he's had a term that will have extended 4 years. And when I used to do exams, I used to get judged on all the questions I answered, not just the last question.
Okay, fair point. Well, in the last few months, as you know, he's been on a PR offensive, going to make his case to the American people on 60 Minutes, writing an op-ed in the Wall Street Journal. He's due to appear on PBS this weekend. Has this People Direct approach backfired? Is it helping or hindering him?
No, I think that it's probably helping him, and that the majority of people are in favor. But I think that that's basically because the majority of people aren't looking at the whole record. They just tending to focus on the part that they remembered, which is the last 9 months. But I don't think that that's the way Obama should behave, when he's making a decision as to whether or not to reappoint him. I think that he should hold Bernanke responsible in much the way that we're now holding Greenspan responsible for the mess. He was around for much of the time. The whole of 2006, he was silent on subprime lending, on the extent of the bubble. And then he was just painfully slow in raising interest rates.
Desmond, let me jump in and just ask you, if not Bernanke in terms of serving a second term, then who? There are some concerns out there that the marketplace might get very nervous about anyone other than Ben Bernanke, given the state we're in right now.
Oh, I think that in this country, there are very many people who are very competent. Somebody who would spring immediately to mind is somebody like Janet Yellen from the San Francisco Fed. She'd have the experience. She's really been very right on the issues. Somebody very moderate, just looks to me as if she'd be a lot more effective than Bernanke is. And, hopefully we're not going to be stuck in the middle of a crisis for the whole of the next 4 years. We want somebody who can handle the Fed in better times as well. What
are the chances right now, if even though you don't think Ben Bernanke should get this job again, what are the chances he keeps it?
I'm not sure. I think that it depends very much what occurs the next few months. I would imagine that Obama's not going to be in a great rush to make his decision. Let's see how things play out the next 3 months. Bernanke himself is alluding to a lot of risks in the economy. A lot of things can break in a way that's not favorable to him. Right. You know, we could get Merrill Lynch coming up again and so on.
Got to stop you right there. Desmond Lachman from AEI, we appreciate it. Thanks very much.